Hello, everyone, and welcome to the national championship game stream between Michigan and UConn. The road ends here. This is the end of the season. I want to thank everybody for tuning in to any of our stuff this year. It means a lot. It was a great year for us as we look to move on. This is year 5, so year 6 will be coming up in just a few months. But Michigan in the white as the home team, UConn in their road blues. No surprises to the starting lineup. Solo Ball is in for UConn, Yaxel Lindenborg in for Michigan. We'll have to see how limited they are. And we are about to do it, and we are underway. And it is UConn that controls the tip here in Indianapolis. Cadeau guarding Demery. Now Burnett switches onto him after the screen. Yaxel is going up against, and they're just switching everything right now. UConn can't really get much of their primary action here. They get the ball to Terrace Reed. It's a Michigan revenge game for Terrace Reed. Reed, the floater, is no good, and it's rebounded by Cadeau. So a stop in the early going for the Wolverines. Got the UConn record wrong. The layup by Merez is no good, and the rebound goes out of bounds, and it'll stay with Michigan. So a pretty clean look at the rim there for the Wolverines, but the shot does not go. It is Cadeau underneath. He tosses it into Mara. Cadeau gets it back, guarded by Demery. Now it's Yaxel guarded by Solo Ball. Now it's Mara in the post. One-on-one with Reed. Will UConn bring a second? They will not. Mara turns around, and he does not get the hook shot to go. So 2 good looks for Michigan. No points on the opening possession. Pretty much a 1-4 switch here for Michigan. Mullins takes 3 from the wing. That is way off, and it's rebounded by Merez. So we're still looking for our first points here of the championship game. 4 possessions in. Cadeau and Merez in the ball screen up top. Cadeau switched on Caravan. They have ball inside guarding Merez. Can they find him? They can. He flips it up and in. And the Wolverines take a 2-0 lead. So nice use of the mismatch there by the Wolverines. And Merez is not going to miss another easy look like that. Straight 1-4 switching for UConn. And they're just leaving Mara on Terrace Reed. They go to Terrace Reed here. They're letting him go one-on-one. Reed backs down. Lefty hook. Got it. And Terrace Reed, the former Michigan Wolverine, puts UConn on the board. Lindenborg now fires it over to Johnson. Johnson can make a 3, but he's not a knockdown shooter. Now it's Cadeau stepping in. Cadeau slices to the hoop, and he lays it up and in. Great patience there by Elliot Cadeau, and Michigan leads 4-2. Demery now, it's ball, and they're looking for Reed inside. They get it to him. One-on-one with Mara. Reed spins, righty hook. Does not get it to go. Cadeau gets the rebound, and Michigan look to push. Cadeau gives it to Merez, gets it right back, and he turns it over, but it is knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay with Michigan. So UConn unable to haul that tipped ball in, and it's not a turnover. They're showing the 2 teams' road to the championships. UConn has had a little bit more of eventful games. Michigan has not had a single game within single digits. They have scored 90 points in all 5 of their previous games. If they do that again tonight, it's probably going to be a Wolverine party in Indy. They're going to get Demery for a foul here on Cadeau. There's a chance that this might be shooting. And it is going to be a shooting foul. So he had his hand in there, and instead of ripping through, he ripped up. And Cadeau will go to the line for 3. So Elliot Cadeau had a great game in the semifinal, despite going 5 of 17 from the field. A lot of his misses were just to get it up there for Mara or Merez to put away. So the first free throw is good, makes it 5-2. And the second one is good for 6. Adai Mara will check out of the game, and it'll be Roddy Gale Jr. with his first appearance for Michigan. So we talked about this in the preview. Are Michigan going to go small more times than not to match up better with UConn? Looks like they are going to here. So 3 for 3 for Cadeau, and the Wolverines take a 7-2 lead. Let's see at what their defense adjusts to with Mara off the floor. Do they just go straight 1 through 5 switch? We'll see. And that's exactly what they're going to do. It's solo ball in the corner. He dribbles past the baseline mid-range and gets the roll. So solo ball with his first bucket of the game, and UConn are back within 3. Cadeau, short roll to Merez, and this is going to be a blocking foul on Demery, or solo ball. Looked like he got over there in time. Looked like a charged man. Yep, that should be an offensive foul. That is a bad call. Merez sort of barreled through there. Tough call. Second foul on the Huskies. Lendenborg now up top, guarded by Caravan. Now it's Merez. Now Cadeau. If they're going to sit behind the screen, he's going to shoot it for 3. In and out. Rebounded by Burnett. He lays it up no good, but Merez finishes it. So Michigan able to get on the boards without Adai Mara on the floor. And the Wolverines lead 9-4. A 6-1 rebounding margin already. So they're not switching at the 5 anymore as Demery drives. Demery lays it up, and it is blocked by Roddy Gale. Out of bounds. It'll stay with UConn. A great recovery there by the former Ohio State Buckeye. Demery thinks he has a layup, and Roddy Gale says absolutely not. Get that out of here. And with 15:41 remaining, that brings us to our first media timeout. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the first immediate timeout. It's 9-4 Michigan in the early going. Height advantage. Height advantage so far for Michigan. And Adai Mara checks back into the game. It's Lendenborg, Gale, Burnett, and Cadeau. So Merez will take a seat. And Demery has it. Now Ball. And it's a short clock. Terrace Reed has it with 3 seconds left. Does he realize the shot clock is going down? He does not. Shot clock violation. Excellent defense from Michigan so far. Gale hits Mara on the short roll. One-on-one with Reed. Unless help comes, help is not coming. Mara with the left hand, no. Terrace Reed holding his own so far in the one-on-one on defense. But they've got to start scoring on the other end to make up for it. Mullins gets the DHO from Reed. Now it's Ball. Ball sits behind the screen, flips it over to Mullins. Takes the triple. No. Long rebound is out of bounds. It'll stay with UConn. So a lot of switching from the Wolverines going on right now, and that is why UConn cannot get in the lane. And this ball is probably off. Oh, no, they called a foul. Okay, so foul on Yaxel. It's his first and Michigan's first. I was going to say, the ball did probably go out of bounds off of UConn, but it's because he fouled him. So an early foul for Yaxel. We don't know how much he has in the tank tonight. He is dealing with a left ankle and left knee injury. He was clearly hobbled by it last game. He's looking okay so far. Caravan now guarded by Yaxel. Now fires it into Terrace Reed, and the ball is out of bounds off of Terrace Reed, and it's a turnover. So excellent defense there by Cadeau to get a hand in there and to knock it off of him. Oh, well, he didn't. I mean, he just slapped him. That was a foul by Cadeau, but he got away with one there. So still 9-4 Michigan here, about 5 minutes into this one. Lendenborg now kicking it over to McKenney, who enters the game. His triple is off, and it's rebounded by Caravan. Ball, pushing in transition, takes the triple, and he got it. So a big 6-point swing there with the missed triple for Michigan, and then Ball gets the puppies organized from behind the arc, and UConn are within 2. 2 early buckets for Solo Ball. Cadeau shuffles, goes baseline, flips it over his shoulder, and he knocks it down and the foul. Wow, what a great play there by Elliot Cadeau. Didn't look like a whole lot was happening there. He goes baseline, he takes a couple of bumps, and he finds himself over, and he flips it for the reverse layup. That is an incredible play by Elliot Cadeau. The foul is going to be on Demery. It's going to be UConn's third foul. So Lendenborg at the 4 in this current lineup for Michigan. It's Cadeau, McKenney, Gale, Lendenborg, Mara. And Cadeau misses the free throw, and it's rebounded by Terrace Reed. Jaden Ross has entered the game from UConn, and he will bring the ball forward. Barely. And he does not get it across. That's 10 seconds. The referees were not paying attention. Dusty not happy about that. That's a missed call by the refs. He did not get it across in 10 seconds. Ball takes advantage of the extra possession, and it's not going to matter because it's a loose ball foul on UConn. So a hectic sequence there as Jaden Ross did not get the ball over in 10 seconds. That was a missed call, but it did not result in any points for UConn. It is the 4th foul on the Huskies. Dan Hurley's asking for a flop. He won't be getting that. So the points for Michigan are fully between Merez Johnson and Elliot Cadeau so far. They've got all 11. Has a feeling that it's not going to be that high of a scoring of a game. They get it down low to Mara on Ryba for the first time. Mara lefty layup is no good. So that's 3 lefty misses for Mara now as Malachi Smith with the rebound for UConn. 3 bench players on the floor for the Huskies. And it's Malachi Smith guarded by Gale. We're going to run Karaban through a couple of screens. Nice switch there by Michigan with Mara showing instead of letting Karaban let it fly. Another pump fake, sidestep, Karaban, triple. Got it. That is not something that Mara should be expected to do, flying around with Alex Karaban. We talked about it in the preview. That cannot happen. Michigan's got to avoid switching that 5. They get it low to Mara. There's a foul, and it's going to be on the floor. So UConn hit a couple of threes in the last few possessions, and they're down by 1 here. They're holding their own on the defensive end, especially against Mara in the post. They do already have 4 fouls, but you're going to have to use them against a team like Michigan. Just hope they don't all go onto one player. But Solo Ball and Silas Demery each have 2 fouls. That is going to be something they're going to have to monitor here. Cadeau sits behind the screen, takes the triple, no good. Ross with the rebound in transition. Ross goes all the way, and he is fouled by Cadeau. So nearly a pick 6 off of a rebound, which you do see sometimes in the tournament with how bouncy these basketballs are. And Elliot Cadeau was not about to allow Jaden Ross to throw that thing down. So 11:57 remaining. Michigan leads 11-10. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the under 12 timeout. Michigan leads 11-10. Tracy Wolfson was just interviewing Dusty, and it was Dusty didn't give her a lot there, but it was we got to stop going so far east-west, and we got to continue to battle on the boards. So we'll see if Michigan tries to attack the paint a little bit more here. Jaden Ross hits the first free throw after being fouled before the break to tie the game at 11. Jaden Ross had two big triples for the Huskies against Illinois in the Final Four, and he misses the second free throw here. So we're going to stay locked up at 11. Both teams with 4 field goals. UConn 4 of 10, Michigan 4 of 12. McKinney running the point here as he hits Merez in the short roll. One-on-one with Ryba. Merez spins. Merez pump fakes again, and he lays it up and in. So great patience there from the former Illini, and Michigan retakes the lead. Caravan now has it. Looking for somebody else now. It's Malachi Smith, and they switch. Michigan switching a lot here, unless the 5 is the screener. Smith pulls up from mid-range, and he gets the roll. Malachi Smith is going to have some important minutes here in the first half with both Ball and Demery with 2 fouls. Yaxel's looking for Merez again. Let's see if they bring 2. They're not. They're going to let him go. Merez travels. So UConn is going to live with themselves here one-on-one in the paint, and it is working so far. Ryba and Terrace Reed have held their own. Yep, he did move those pivot feet. That was a good call. So 13 all here, nearly a quarter of the way through this one. It's been a defensive battle, not a lot of easy shots, a war every time a shot is missed. They go pinned down for Caravan. Will Cheddar's entered the game for Michigan for the first time, and they're sitting behind Malachi Smith. He's going to step back, takes the triple. That is short. He gets his own rebound. He loses it, gets it back, kicks it to Caravan in the corner. Got it. So a little bit of a broken play there on multiple fronts. And UConn take their first lead of the game. Lendenborg barrels through, and he misses, and it's to Merez, who tips it in for 2. Hurley is getting after the referees for that. He wanted a jump ball, but he's not going to get it. So it's 2 points for Merez, and it is still Merez and Cadeau with all 16 of the points for Michigan. Malachi Smith and Ryba in the pick and roll now. Now they've got some off-ball stuff with Caravan, and he can't catch the pass, and it's a turnover. Cadeau now the other way. Guarded by Ross. Merez on the short roll, kicks it to Cheddar. Ball movement to McKinney for 3. No. Rebounded by Caravan, and UConn gets it to Malachi Smith. It's Ross, Mullins, Caravan, and Ryba with Smith on the floor for UConn. It's Cadeau, McKinney, Yaxel, Cheddar, and Merez on the floor for Michigan. Smith now gets the double stagger at the top, gets the switch on Cadeau. He's going to have to go here. He's got a short clock. Smith splits the double team, and he lays it up and in. Excellent play there by Malachi Smith. And UConn regain their 3-point lead. They get it to Lendenborg on the post. He drives baseline, and he takes the bump, and he is fouled. He will lay it in, but the basket will not count. So already the 6th foul on UConn. So the Wolverines will be shooting the rest of the way. Just 2 fouls on the Wolverines. So McKinney tosses it into Yaxel. Jalen Stewart into the game for the first time for UConn. Lendenborg fadeaway 3 is no good, and there's a loose ball foul on Michigan. I think. Let's see here. Yes, they're going to get Yaxel. So that is going to be his second foul, just Michigan's third. I think. They're showing him. Let's see. So Michigan 0 for 5 from 3, UConn 3 of 6. That has been something that has really gone their way this year, or in the tournament recently. Just checking to make sure who they got that foul on, and it was on Merez Johnson, actually, not Yaxel. So it was Merez's first. It's a triple for UConn that is off the mark, but it's rebounded by Terrace Reed. They kick it out to Stewart. That jumper is off as well, and it's Will Cheddar who gets the rebound for Michigan. McKenney drives, hangs, misses. Tip is no good for Mara, also, and Mullins with the rebound. So after not really holding up early on the boards, UConn is starting to get some of these 50-50 rebounds. Smith guarded by Cheddar. A lot of crossing back and forth. Terrace Reed goes into Mara. A couple pump fakes, a couple spins, and he is blocked by the Spaniard. And Michigan go the other way. Great patience there by Mara not to leave his feet, not to give away a silly foul. And he gets it inside there and he lays it in. So a nice sequence there from Mara. And Michigan are within one. We are under 8 now, so the next whistle we are owed another timeout. UConn up by 1 here. They seem to be up for the battle so far. Caravan now looking for Reed. A couple of DHOs. Stewart sitting behind. Stewart, the floater from the free throw line, is no good. And he gets his own rebound. And then he dribbles it, puts it on the floor, slides, kicks it out to Malachi Smith. New possession for UConn. And now we have a whistle. And the shot clock probably should have not reset because Michigan didn't have clear possession of the ball. That would be my guess. But either way, we're going to be headed to immediate timeout. 7 minutes remaining. UConn up 18-17. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the break. It appears that they were 2 seconds too quick on the shot clock. So it'll still be UConn ball, 7 minutes left with 15 seconds left on the shot clock rather than the 13 that was on there before. So not a huge change in all, but here's the interview with Dan Hurley. Dan Hurley likes his defense so far. He is dragging them into a tough battle right now. Nothing is easy. Michigan, of course, could make things easier by knocking down a 3 or 2, which they have not done yet. They're 7 of 19 from the field. So Malachi Smith running the point still with the fouls for UConn. Mullins circles around. The floater off the back iron, no good. Nice rebound there by Damari Burnett. And a foul on Braylon Mullins. So free throws here for the former Alabama transfer once upon a time. He did play for Juwan Howard at Michigan, and he's stuck around. Great rebound there. Mullins goes in and probably has a good argument for a tie up there. So that is foul number 7 on the Huskies, and it'll be 1-1 for Damari Burnett. Burnett sits in his stance, and the free throw is good to tie the game at 18. On the floor for UConn is Smith, Mullins, Stewart, Caravan, and Reed. So a little bit taller on their end. And in for Michigan is Burnett, Cadeau, Lendenborg, Merez, and one other person that I cannot see. And the second free throw is good, by the way. So Michigan up 19-18. And they're going to put on a little bit of a press here with Merez at the top of the snake. It is Mara who's in the back. So a big team here for UConn. It's the starters for Michigan on the floor. Smith guarded by Merez. Now they switch Burnett onto him. Now Caravan comes for a screen and then he goes away. It's Caravan on a curl. Caravan floater is blocked by Mara. And they're going to call a foul on Michigan. They're able to get Caravan downhill there, and it was Cadeau who reached, and is going to be whistled for the foul. So Caravan to the line hits the first to tie the game at 19. 6:24 remaining. Elliot Cadeau will go to the bench. That is his second foul. So Caravan hits both, and UConn take a 20-19 lead. So it looks like it's going to be Point Yaxel right now. Gale is the one who came in for him as Yaxel just barrels into the paint and is fouled. So he will go to the line for a 1-1. Dusty wants 2 shots, but that's probably going to be on the floor. Yeah, this is going to be a 1-1 for Yaxel. Playing on a probably sprained MCL. I don't think they got that far. There was no ligament damage, but he's clearly a little bit compromised. He does not have a point yet, and now he does because he gets the roll on the free throw. So it's going to be Yaxel, Burnett, and Gale handling the ball here for the rest of the first half, by the looks of it. And 2 for 2 for Yaxel and Michigan back in front. It's been a back and forth first half here. They go back to this press, and Malachi Smith just throws the ball through Merez's legs. Malachi Smith gets it across half, kicks it to Mullins, corner 3, and he gets it to go. Braylon Mullins from downtown and UConn take a 23-21 lead. Hurley with some intensity on the bench. They kick it over to Burnett. Wing triple from the corner is no good, and the rebound is corralled by Caravan. Hurley begging his team to slow it down and to get ready in their set. This is the type of game that UConn have to play to win. They're doing the job so far. They're keeping Michigan off the glass. They're forcing tough looks, limiting second chances. They got to make some on the other end. Smith gets it, loses it, kicks it out. Terrace Reed for three. No. Rebound underneath by Braylon Mullins. He flips it into Terrace Reed. The floater does not go. And it's rebounded by Michigan. And Yaxel will push. Yaxel crosses over and hits the deck, has the ball, and it's going to be a jump ball. So a little bit out of control there by Yaxel. And it will stay with Michigan. And Yaxel just sort of fell there. And then once he was on the floor, UConn was most likely going to tie it up. So the arrow back to UConn after this play. With 5:05 remaining, UConn up to its Michigan ball underneath with Gale. Now into Yaxel in the corner. Now up to McKinney. McKinney for three in the lead. No. Gale with the rebound, and it's going to be a loose ball foul on UConn. So the Wolverines still looking for their first triple of the ball game. They've gotten a few decent looks. That wasn't a bad one there by McKinney. But they didn't get it to go. They have made 10 threes in all 5 of their tournament games so far. 0 tonight. So we near halftime. Dusty giving Mara some instructions. He's like, you're going to have to go get some of these rebounds because we're not making shots. So Gale, the first free throw goes. Two for two for Roddy Gale, and we are tied at 23. Michigan back in this 1-2-2 with Merez at the top, and UConn get it across without much trouble. 9 of 10 from the line for Michigan, while UConn is 3 of 4. 9 fouls to 4. Malachi Smith now. Caravan gets it off the curl. Now gives it back to Smith. Smith drives, kicks it to Mullins. Mullins, long two, no. Long rebound goes right out to Malachi Smith. Caravan in the corner, throws it into Terrace Reed, and that is blocked by Mara. And they're going to call it a goaltend. Looked like it was on the way down. That is something that they can review after the next media timeout. Yeah, I mean, that's not something you can overturn. It's probably a goaltend. But you definitely can not say it was definitely not a goaltend. So Terrace Reed gives UConn the lead 25-23. We are nearing on the last media timeout here, the first half. Mara on the short roll to Gale. Gale misses the layup. Really, really good defense at the rim for UConn so far. Michigan missing a lot of shots in and around the rim. 7 of 22 from the field, while UConn are 9 of 24. They go to Terrace Reed. Smith, and they're going to call a moving screen on Terrace Reed. Just a little bit quick off his spot there. Or quick getting to the spot, doesn't set the screen, and it's a moving screen. It'll go the other way. So 3:58 remaining in this one. UConn up 25-23. We'll be back after the break. We are back. Some game summary here. UConn 4 of 10 from downtown, 5 of 14 on twos. Michigan 0 of 7 from 3, and 7 of 15 on twos. So that has not been the way that this has gone in the tournament so far for Michigan. They're going to have to adjust a little bit here. It's not been the prettiest offensive half. UConn have missed 8 of their last 10 shots. Michigan have missed 6 of their last 7. Points are hard to come by here in the national championship. And that is exactly the way that UConn wants it. Yaxel running the point here with Godot in foul trouble. He's guarded by Ross. No field goals in almost 4 minutes for Michigan. Mara looking for somebody else other than Yaxel here. Now he gives it to him. Now back to Mara. Mara one-on-one with Ryba. The double team comes. He flips it out to Gale. Gale pump fake, drive, and he is blocked by Braylon Mullins. Great play there by the Indiana native. Mullins now in transition, kicks it. Caravan steps into a triple. No. Rebounded by McKinney. And now Michigan can go. This is a little bit more like the tempo that the Wolverines want. Can they take advantage? Yaxel for 3. In and out. Loose ball foul on UConn on the rebound. Huskies don't like it. Hurley does not like the way this game is being officiated. Now, you can say that that's probably true more times than not. But let's see here. Caravan is hooking Merez a little bit there. And if they choose to look at this, there might be something to review there. But that's the rule. It probably shouldn't be the rule, but it's going to be 2 free throws here for Merez Johnson. UConn is over the limit. And it looks like they are going to review this for a potential hook and hold. And based on the rule, Caravan does hook him here, and he stops him from going up with 2 hands. This should be a hook and hold on Alex Caravan. Let's see what Gene has to say.
Now, does Caravan pull down? Does he hold? Does he clamp at that point and hold Johnson down? That's the piece I think they're going to make that judgment on.
Johnson only goes up with the one arm. They are announcing now that it's under review for hook and hold. I think there's a good chance that this is elevated. This is pretty clearly why the rule was put in place. Johnson had to go up with one arm rather than 2. And Caravan is definitely clamping there. Yeah, this is gonna be a hook and hold, I think. Man, this cam from the sky is pretty cool. They don't appear to be any closer to a decision here. If I was in charge, that we would already be at a hook and hold, but I'm not. So they are going to raise this to a hook and hold. So a tough break there for Alex Caravan, but that is the rule. So it'll be 2 free throws from Merez and Michigan ball here. 3:16 remaining in the first half. That is why the rule is in place. And Merez knew it right away, too. He was trying to get the officials' attention. So it's been a tough half for UConn in the foul department. That is the 11th foul. So Merez will go down to the side of the floor by himself for 2 free throws. He gets the roll on the first. He has 9 of Michigan's 24. Two for Merez, and we are tied up at 25. All 5 starters for Michigan played somewhere else before the Wolverines. At least one place. Burnett played 2. He played at Texas Tech and Alabama. Mara looks to the corner for McKinney. And they're looking inside for Yaxel. They throw it into him. He lays it up and in. So it's a 4-point possession for Michigan after the hook and hold. And they take a 2-point lead. 4 points for Yaxel. Now Smith Caravan off the pin down for 3. Short. Rebounded by McKinney. Michigan can push. Lendenborg wants it here on the left. He fires it into Mara on the short roll. It's one-on-one with Ryba. Can Mara finally score one of these one-on-ones? Yes, he can. And he got a little closer to the bucket there. Wasn't a 4 or 5 footer that he's fading away. He got right on the chin of the rim and laid it in. So Michigan takes a 29-25 lead, and Dan Hurley is going to use his first timeout here in the first half. Wolverines up 4. We'll be back after the break. And we are back underway here. Malachi Smith has been in for large parts of this game. They have not gone back to Demery. Solo Ball is in the game for the first time since getting his second foul. He puts up a triple and he knocks it down. Solo Ball, a big time shot. He has 10. and Michigan lead by 1. Still no Cadeau. They're looking for Mara down low again. Surprise, surprise. On read. Are they going to bring 2? They aren't. Mara lays it up and in. So he's getting a little bit closer to the basket, and that might be the difference there on those weak-handed hooks. Mara now has 6, and Michigan are back up by 3. 20 of the 31 are points in the paint, and they have 11 free throws also. So they don't have a single point outside the paint. Still looking for their first 3. Smith, step back triple for UConn. That is way short. It's rebounded by Terrace Reed, who's on the floor. He kicks it out to Caravan. Corner triple. That is off. Rebounded by Mara. Great battle on the boards that the Wolverines win. Lendenborg can push in transition. He backs down Mullins. He kicks it to McKinney. McKinney, step back mid-range short. Rebounded by Terrace Reed. UConn down to the last minute. They can go 2 for 1 if they want, although they're probably going to have to hurry a little bit here. It's a flare screen for Mullins. Mullins floater off the window. Does not get it to go. It's rebounded by Michigan. Yaxel pushing in transition. Yaxel takes the bump. Lays it in. No, but it's Gale who flushes it home. UConn want a goaltend. They're not going to get it. Dusty May wanted to call a timeout, but he could not get the ref's attention before UConn played it in. So they're going to hold for 1 here. 15 seconds now. 12, and solo ball kicks it out to Malachi, and they're running low on time here. He's going to have to do something. Smith weaving through. It's a short roll to Terrace Reed. He lays it up, no good. And they're going to call the foul. So 2.6 seconds remaining. It is Terrace Reed for UConn who will go to the line for 2. Great transition play here by Yaxel. Does this get off the cylinder by Roddy Gale? Yes, it does. So that is going to be a good basket. It's definitely off the cylinder. It's below it, too. So a nice job there by Roddy Gale to let it come out of the cylinder before putting it back in. So Terrace Reed at the line for 2. He does not get the first one to go. He hit a couple of big free throws for UConn in their Final Four win over Illinois, but that one does not go. So Cadeau back in. Just 5 fouls for Michigan compared to 12 for UConn in this first half. You have to think that Dan Hurley might make a point of that to the officials if he can get their attention going to the locker room. Michigan still does not have a single point outside the paint or the free throw line this half. So Terrace Reed to avoid the empty trip. He gets it to go. So 33-29 Michigan here, 2.6 seconds. Cadeau is going to throw this ball down the court, and they're going to try and steal a bucket here. Late. Cadeau throws it in to Merez. He gets it back, and the half-court shot is no good. Rybo is playing with fire there. A lot of contact, but they don't get the call. So it is halftime in the national championship. Despite not making a single 3, Michigan still lead by 4 at the half. Wolverines lead 33-29. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the second half. We are back for the second half. Michigan leads 33-29, and it is UConn that will control the ball first. Michigan, not a single point outside the paint or the free throw line. Not a single three, yet they still lead by 4. It's Demery. We didn't see a lot of him. 2 early fouls. Demery slices into the paint, kicks it to Ball, wing triple, short. Rebounded by Mara, and he throws it full court to Namari Burnett, and he is fouled by Solo Ball. So we have seen that at times this year from Adai Mara, his ability to just get the rebound and send it down the floor. This was a good foul by Ball to stop the 2 for Burnett, and he does get the ball up top, but he also knocks him on the body. So that is a foul. So Burnett to the line for 2. 2 free throws. No field goals in the first half for Burnett. And he hits his 3rd free throw here to make it 34-29. Burnett goes 2 for 2, and Michigan take a 6-point lead. Demery, guarded by Yaxel. They look inside to Terrace Reed, one-on-one with Mara. Reed, short hook, and he loses it, but he gets it back, and he lays it in. So good first shot defense there by Michigan, but not got to finish the defensive possession with a rebound. They didn't. Terrace Reed was able to knock it in for 2. 7-7 for the former Wolverine. Now back to the post again. Immediate double on Mara. Ball movements, flying it around for Michigan here. They get it back to Mara in the same spot. Will they send to? Mara loses it, and it's a turnover, and the ball goes out of bounds, and it'll go to UConn. So a little bit of a wrinkle on how UConn is playing defense here in the second half. They are quicker to double. And there it forced them to pass out of it the first time. And then a turnover on the second. Despite not a lot of points, these teams are taking care of the ball pretty well. Just 4 turnovers for UConn and 3 for Michigan. And Terrace Reed and Braylon Mullins not on the same page. And Terrace Reed tosses it out of bounds. Tough break for me there. They turn it over right when I tell them that they're taking care of the ball. So Cadeau, now for Michigan. Yaxel, taking ball inside, kicks it to Burnett in the corner for 3. That is way off. And it's rebounded by Terrace Reed. So Michigan's still looking for that 3-pointer. That they've hit 10 of in each of the 5 games so far in the tournament. It's Caravan guarded by Cadeau. Will they try and get Caravan the ball back here? Probably. And Michigan is just switching all of these off-ball actions, which UConn is well known for. And the entry pass to Terrace Reed is turned over. Yaxel. They're looking for Mara down low. He has a mismatch. They got to throw it to him. And they're going to call a foul here on UConn. Marez hits the deck. And that is 2 quick fouls in the second half. 1 on Ball, 1 on Demery. They have both got 3. So Demery trying to run over the screen, and he just runs right into Marez here. And wraps his arm around him. And then Marez does flop a little bit, but maybe more than a little bit. The inbounds pass goes directly to Mara in the post. They throw it up to Marez, and he cannot lay it in. Malachi Smith back in the game. And he pushes it forward for UConn. Double pin down, solo ball 3 from the top of the key. No. Rebounded by Mara. And Yaxel can push. Yaxel, Euro step, lays it up. No. Rebounded by Caravan. Now UConn can push. Caravan fakes the triple and kicks it back out. Ball on the corner. Euro step in and just gets it taken by Namari Burnett. Great defense there. Johnson gives it back to Burnett, and he loses the ball out of bounds. It'll go back to UConn. So not exactly the sharpest start to this game for either team. Just 2 points each, one basket, and a bunch of turnovers. So Smith will bring it up. 6 total turnovers in this second half. There were just 7 in the first half. We haven't even gotten more than 4 minutes into this second half. So Smith guarded by Burnett here for UConn. Solo ball guarded by Burnett. Ball into the free throw line, kicks it to Mullins. Mullins sidestep 3 is short. Rebounded by Cadeau. Great defense from Michigan once again. Cadeau into the paint, and he is fouled, and he lays it in. And one for Elliot Cadeau. Great patience. Cradles the ball like a running back, takes the hit, and flips it up and in for 2. That is going to be Solo Ball's 4th foul. And he's going to have to exit the game. So 16-20 until Solo Ball already has 4 of the allotted 5 fouls. Cadeau hits the free throw to give Michigan their largest lead of the game. UConn 11 of 35 from the field, Michigan 12 of 33. +1 to Michigan in the rebounding department. And they are 14 of 15 at the line. And a reaching foul here on Roddy Gale. Ball goes out of bounds. Will stay. Well, it didn't matter that it goes out of bounds because it was a foul. So the first foul on Michigan of the second half. Foul trouble the rest of the way. It's Ball with 4, Demery with 3. Nobody else with 3 on either team. So it's going to be a lot of Malachi Smith minutes here in the second half. He did fairly well in the first half. He gets this one to Mullins. Now Ross in the corner, and it's picked off by Cadeau. Another UConn turnover. Cadeau takes the bump, lays it up, no good. The follow by Merez is no good, and UConn can push it the other way. Pinned down for Caravan. He pump fakes, drives, hangs, and he is blocked. Out to Stewart. A triple by Caravan. No. Rebounded by Mullins, and he lays it in. So it's a tough situation when you put a shot up. You got to be ready for all sorts of contact. And Mullins with his first 2 of the game. Lendenborg gets it to go, and the foul. Every single shot is a battle. And Michigan regained their 7-point lead. 15-16 remaining in this one. Wolverines up by 7. We'll be back after this. We are back from the under 16 timeout. Michigan leads 40-33, 15 minutes and 16 seconds away from crowning a national champion. It'll be Axel Lendenborg who will go to the free throw line here. He is dealing with that knee and ankle injury. He's not been his sharpest Big Ten player of the year self, but he's putting up a shift for his team with the season on the line. Free throw is good. That was Terrace Reed's third foul. So UConn are running out of fouls here. They trail by 8, and they have probably their 3 best players in foul trouble. And Malachi Smith turns the ball over right next to Dan Hurley here. And he just loses it. And UConn has 5 turnovers here in the second half after only 4 in the first half. Not what you want to do against Michigan. Cadeau, step back 3. No. Michigan still looking for that first 3. Mullins spins. Malachi Smith lays it up and in. So back to 6. Roddy Gale now fires it over, and it's tipped out of bounds by Ross. So Mara has it out of bounds, guarded by Terrace Reed. They're going to try and get his 4th. Mara, one-on-one, spins, baseline, turns right into the double, and it's knocked out of bounds by Ross. So a little bit of the switch here from UConn is they are not letting Mara turn around and have his little hook shots that he did. He didn't make them, many of them in the first half, but he started to get into rhythm at the end. Cadeau throws it in to McKinney, and he has to go into the backcourt to get it. It's a short clock here for Michigan. McKinney drives, spins, fade away from the free throw line. Got it. That is a great offensive play by Trey McKinney. Not much you can do differently there from UConn. It's just the nature of the beast. Mullins, guarded by Gale. Now it's Smith. Now Caravan comes up to get it. Pump fake, sidestep, fires it over to Mullins. Wide open 3 in the corner. No. Rebounded by Terrace Reed, kicks it out. Ball movement. Mullins goes baseline, floater over Mara. No. Rebound by Caravan is up and in. So a couple of bites at the apple there for the Huskies. And they're holding serve at 6. 13 offensive boards for the Huskies. It's Cadeau and Mara in the wing ball screen. Cadeau burns him right to the hole and lays it in for 2. The empty side pick and roll, something that you've seen Michigan teams do, or Dusty May teams do a lot over the years. Guess what? It's successful again this year. Reed now in the post on Mara. Reed barrels in. Reed shakes, shimmies, lefty hook. No. Rebounded by Axel. Michigan can extend their lead to double digits with a bucket here. Lendenborg backing down on Mullins. Ball movement. Cadeau for 3. Got it. Michigan went this far without a 3, but they get one here to extend their lead to 11. The Chrysler Center in Ann Arbor is going bananas. And do we have a timeout here from UConn? We do. 12:51 remaining. Michigan has stretched this out to an 11-point lead. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the break. Michigan has stretched this lead out to 11 with 12 and a half minutes remaining. Do UConn have a push in them, or Michigan going to cruise to a victory? Demery now with Ross looking for Reed inside, end of the shot clock. Caravan has to take the long three, and it's no good. Rebounded by Demery. Nice pass to Ross, and it is blocked by Trey McKinney. So 12:19 to go here. And did they call a foul? They called a foul. That was a clean block by Merez and McKinney. Bad call there from the officials. So Ross buries the first free throw. And he hits both to get UConn back within 9. So a little bit of pressure here from UConn. And it's McKinney that is going to be running the point here on this play with Godot to the side. It's Merez at the 5 here with Cheddar at the 4. Johnson dribbling around here. He just has to hand it behind him to Cadeau. Short clock here. Cadeau drives into the paint. Nice seal, and it's blocked from behind by Demery. Great seal there from Merez, but it wasn't enough to seal off Demery. The 3 by Ross is no good, and it's McKinney with the rebound. Cheddar can push. It's 1-on-2. Cheddar, floater, no good. Rebound by Caravan. UConn now pushing the other way. Braylon Mullins drives in, and he gets blocked by Merez. Out of bounds, UConn ball. So 11:33 to go. This is the under 12 timeout. It'll be UConn ball after the break. We are back from the break. During the under 12 timeout, they did honor the last undefeated team, the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers, in the 50-year anniversary of the win, and we are in Indianapolis, so that was pretty cool. But UConn is going back to the post with Terrace Reed here, guarded by Merez this time. The lefty lay by Terrace Reed is good. So it's a little easier to score on Merez rather than the 7-3 Spaniard at Daimara. Behind the back for Cadeau, he barrels in, he takes the contact, he misses the layup. Bodies are flying all over the place, but it's UConn that gets the ball. Can they get closer than 7 here? Demery now guarded by McKinney. Mullins runs through. And now Caravan comes on the screen, and Cheddar is right there. Now Mullins sits behind a screen. 3 ball from Mullins, in and out. Rebounded by Merez, and it's going to be... Oh, no! Oh, it's going to be a jump ball. And Demery, after falling over, just takes out the referee. This was unfortunate, but hey. That's a little bit funny, I'll have to admit. The referee made the call in the spillage after the tie-up resulted in a few bodies on the floor. McKinney now at the top of the key. Now Mara back in the game for Michigan. Now it's Yaxel, who is just going to take the 3 over Caravan. It's no good. It's rebounded by Stewart. Stewart, Euro step reverse. It's blocked by Yaxel. Ross now throws it up. No good. Now it's Merez who flips it up to Mara. And they're just letting this go. And he was getting hacked. My goodness. McKinney now on the drive. Lefty layup. No good. But it's Johnson that puts it home on the rebound. So back up to 9 for Michigan. This game's certainly not over yet, but it feels like UConn have to make a push here sooner rather than later. They're going to get a foul here on the Wolverines. But this is a great patience by Yaxel to hit the block on the other end. And then Merez follows up the layup miss on the other end. So at the rim, it's just a war. Reed now down low. On Mara, Merez is sort of faking a half double team. Demery on the pump fake. The teardrop from in the lane is no good. It's rebounded by Gale, and they're going to be a jump ball. And it'll stay with UConn. The shot is no good. Now it's down the other end from Yaxel. Rebound missed, but it's rebounded by the Wolverines. They throw it inside to Merez. Mismatch here on Stewart, and Merez gets it taken by Caravan. Caravan drives to the hoop, lays it up and in. So this game is becoming extremely physical. It always was, but the referees are calling a lot of fouls because there are a lot of fouls. But they've swallowed their whistle here a couple times when they probably haven't when they probably shouldn't have these last few possessions. Lendenborg sits behind the screen, takes a 3, and it's an air ball. Ball will go back to UConn. So it feels like this game is a 15 to 20 point lead for Michigan right now, but it's not. UConn is only down 7 with a chance to cut into the lead. This will be Alex Caravan's last game as a UConn Husky. He already has been to 2 national championships that he has won before. Can he make it a third? At some point, you do have to think about bringing in solo ball back into the game with 4 fouls. I think they'll probably wait until the under 8. But it's Demery running the point in the meantime. Some off-ball stuff from UConn that Michigan is just switching. Demery goes to the hoop, lays it up and in, and UConn are within 5. Don't go anywhere just yet. Dan Hurley and the Huskies are back in the game. We are nearing the 8-minute timeout. Michigan has only made one of their last 8 field goals. Gale drives, spins, hangs, blocked by Caravan. What a great play by Alex Caravan. And UConn could bring it within 1 possession with a basket here. Demery now takes the few screens. Now they go off ball with it. Now Caravan, now Reed. Wing ball screen. Caravan short roll. It's turned over. Bad decision there by Caravan. Gale throws it up for Mara, and he throws it down. So a huge 4-point swing there, and Michigan are back up by 7. Demery flips it over to Caravan. Pump fake. Sidestep 3 from Caravan. No. Rebound by Stewart, and he cannot save it before it goes out of bounds. So 7:16 remaining. Michigan lead by 7. Can they get across the line and get the national championship, or will Dan Hurley and UConn steal this one from behind? We'll be back after the break. We are back from the break. Let's see what Gene Steratore is saying here.
Here or there on a dribbler. It feels to me that letting a little bit of that go right now. Let's see how they go in these next 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah, the foul
So we're talking about the foul disparity. That's one of the laziest arguments in sports. The foul disparity does not need to be close, especially when one team was operating in the paint the entire first half. They're going to be aggressive enough, they're going to get more fouls. Cadeau throws it up for Mara and an alley-oop, and that is out of bounds. So a turnover there by Cadeau, and the ball will go back to UConn. It shows really, a lot of the casuals that come into the sport at the end of the year. One, they don't know the rules, and two, they don't know things that happen. I would say that a lot of referees in the sport are not very good, but these are some of the better ones. I think they're doing fine today. I don't think they're doing well, but I don't think they're doing particularly bad either. So they get a post touch for Reed here, and Mara pokes it from behind, and he reaches, and he's called for the foul. Would you look at that? Commits a foul, called for the foul. Reed in the post, lefty hook is an air ball. Rebounded by McKinney. Michigan can take it the other way. And the ball is knocked out of bounds. It'll stay here with Michigan. They may have called a foul here. Yes, they called a foul, so it'll be free throws for McKinney. First free throw is good. So Michigan lead by 8 here with a chance to make it 9. 6:30 remaining. A lot of missed shots today. And Solo Ball is back in the game with 4 fouls. That is something to look out for. And McKinney hits. And Michigan is up by 9. They had a few chances to cut it to 4 or 5, and the shots did not fall when those opportunities presented themselves. Ball now guarded. Now Caravan comes to get it. Back to Solo Ball. The triple goes up, and it's no good. Mullins with the rebound. And another opportunity here for UConn. Caravan to the hoop. Off the window. No. And he is fouled. So UConn getting some clean looks from 3, but they're not going down. You'd have to think a couple of them in a row have to drop for UConn to get back in this game. So Caravan with 12 points and 8 rebounds in his last college game, and he's going to stay there for now because the first free throw is no good. Second free throw is no good also, but Terrace Reed with the offensive rebound. Demery. Now to Terrace, back to Demery. Demery for 3. They need it. No. Rebounded by Burnett. They get it to Lenenborg underneath. He lays it up and in. And Michigan back up by 11 here with just over 5.5 minutes to go. Michigan's rim protection has been elite this game, and UConn has been unable to shoot it. They are 0 of their last 13 from 3, 5 of their last 20, 5 of 26 on the game. That's just not going to get it done. Mullins, another triple here, gets it to go. So 13 misses in a row from 3. The streak stops there. 5:21 to go here, and there was a timeout called. So Michigan up by 8 with 5:21 to go. Can they get across the line for a national title? So when that shot went up, Elliot Cadeau did shove Silas Demery, and they're looking at this one for potential elevation here. This might be elevated for Cadeau.
It is a common foul. So the extended timeout. These guys catch their breath.
It will not be
5:21 on the clock.
added on.
For opportunity when you're a young player, can he really
But I believe if this is a foul on Cadeau, then UConn are going to get the ball back here. So they hit the three. Can they make it more? So it looks like they're gonna keep Michigan with the ball here. Lendenborg driving in. The floater is no good, but he goes up and tips it in. So back to 10 for Michigan here with 5 minutes to go. Do UConn have one final push? So they get Caravan guarded by McKenney. It's a flare screen for Mullins. He sidesteps, takes the triple, and he gets it to go. So back-to-back makes for Braylon Mullins. And UConn's within 7. They need to keep letting them fly. They got to find a way back in this game somehow. Mullins is 4 of 16 from the field, but he is 2 of his last 2. 7 of 28 for 3 from UConn, 1 of 14 for Michigan. Cadeau tries to drive baseline. He reverses it back up to Yaxel. Guarded by Ross. Yaxel drives to the right, loses it, and he is fouled. So 4:13 to go. It'll be 2 free throws here for Yaxel. So 2 free throws for Yaxel here. He is 81.9% on the season. And he gets the first to go. Two for Yaxel, and Michigan are back up by 9. $60-51. 4:13 to go. They're going to get Yaxel a quick break here, most likely around the last media timeout. Demery picks up his dribble. Mullins has to come and get it. Pump fake. Mullins spins. Throws it to Terrace Reed. Reverse lay, and he is fouled. So 3:48 to go. It'll be the last immediate timeout of the season. Michigan up by 9. On the verge of a national championship. We'll be back after the break. We are back from the break. 3:48 to go. Solo ball with 4 fouls for UConn. Merez with 4 fouls for Michigan. And the Wolverines lead by 9 here with Terrace Reed going to the line for 2. %60 on the season. He is 1 for 2 tonight. Gonna need both of these to go for UConn. And he gets a friendly roll off the back of the rim here for the Huskies. So 2 for 2 for Terrace Reed, and UConn are within 7. Cadeau throws it into Lendenborg, and guarded by Caravan. Can UConn get enough stops here to make this thing a game? Terrace Reed, with those 2 free throws, has hit another double-double. The ball is out of bounds off of Gale, and off of UConn. It'll stay with Michigan. Maybe a chance. Well, UConn haven't challenged yet. They only have 1 timeout, so it would be risky to challenge and potentially lose that timeout. So they're not going to do it here. Gale out of bounds. He fires it back to Cadeau. Both teams shooting in the 30s. McKinney driving on Ross, and Mullins comes over and blocks it. It's an air ball. Great defense there by UConn. Can they lay that with a bucket down here? Demery running the point. Demery. Now just a lot of switching from Michigan. Demery gives it up, gets it back, and they're going to call a moving screen on Terrace Reed. Let's see here. What did he do? Oh, no, it's Braylon Mullins who just chucks Cadeau to the floor and gets called for it. Dan Hurley wants to challenge it. You cannot challenge that, but not that that would have been overturned either. McKinney now to Cadeau in the corner, guarded by Demery. Cadeau is fouled by Demery. So 1-1 here for Cadeau. 2:45 to go. So the first free throw goes up and is good by Cadeau. 61-53 Michigan. Cadeau 69% on the season. 16 points for the North Carolina transfer. Lendenborg goes to the bench. And he goes and just sits on the floor. Cadeau goes 2 for 2. He's up by 9. Solo ball now and Demery. UConn probably need a 3. 2.5 minutes to go. They're down 9. Caravan gets it. He takes the 3, and he gets it to go. So UConn within 6. 2:27 to go. Gale in the corner. Dan Hurley trying to lock his team in for a defensive possession here. Gale gets the double stagger, and it's turned over. Terrace Reed, is the ball going to go out of bounds? He fires it back to Solo ball, and he misses the layup. Cadeau now the other way. Cadeau, pocket pass to Merez. He doesn't quite get it. Gale on the drive, kicks it to McKinney. Step back 3, gets it to go. Trey McKinney, just like that, puts Michigan back up by 9. That was the sequence that had to go UConn's way. They had a layup. They had a chance to get it to 4. But Michigan just lethal with their second three-pointer of the game. Michigan up by 9 with 1:49 to go. We will be back after the break. The ball is back in for UConn here, and at this point it's trending towards a miracle that they need. Demery gets on McKinney. It's a pin down for Caravan. Pump fake. Nice closeout from Yaxel. He is right on him. Ball to Mullins. Back to Solo Ball. They need a shot. Ball from way downtown. Not even close. Caravan with the rebound. No. Reed is fouled. So a bunch of opportunities for UConn, and the offensive glass keeping them in the game. And Reed gets the roll in the first free throw to make it an 8-point game. So 58-65. And Michigan will inbound it. McKenney gets it to Yaxel. Yaxel is dead. He fires it up to Gale. So a good press break there from Michigan. UConn might have to foul here, but at this point the shot clock's too low. You have to let him go, but they do get Demery up top for a bump. He didn't want to commit that foul, and that is going to be it for Silas Demery. So Demery is fouled out of the game. I mean, he had his arms in there. That's clearly a foul. So just 2 points for the Georgia transfer. Cadeau to the line. And he gets the roll on the first free throw. Two for two for Cadeau. Michigan back up by 9. 1:07 to go in the national championship game. Smith, flare screen, Mullins, corner 3, that's off. Rebounded by Gale, but they're going to call loose ball foul on Michigan. So 53.5. And Yaxel just sort of chucks Caravan there. Yep, that's pretty clearly a foul. So 53.5 seconds to go. See who they got that foul on, but if it's on Lendenborg, it's his 4th. Caravan hits the first. And the second. So UConn up down 7 here, 53.5. It'll be 2 free throws the rest of the way for the Wolverines. Can they get a trap? Ooh, McKenney comes very close to traveling. He puts the ball on the floor, and it's a jump ball. So 48.6. It'll stay with Michigan, the arrow. But Hurley wants to travel here because he does fall to the ground with the ball. Oh, well, he traveled there too. He sort of dove on the ground. He did travel there. He moved his pivot foot on the initial trap here. You see his right foot is the pivot foot, and it does slide backwards. That should have been a travel. But credit to McKenney for hustling and getting on the deck and keeping that possession for Michigan. Dusty May's going to call a timeout. We'll stay on here. Let's see what they're saying here on this. So the falling down with the basketball is not the travel. It's the initial trap and the movement of his right foot. His right foot is the pivot foot, and it is sliding around in there. Diving on the floor was not the travel. It was before. But Cadeau will inbound it. He throws it into Yaxel, and the ball is saved, and it's out of bounds because it hits the back of the backboard. So a turnover there for Michigan. Back to UConn here. 45 seconds to go. A three-pointer would make things awfully interesting here. But this is just not a good pass from Cadeau. Lendenborg is open. And then Yaxel has to tip it and try and save it. It was probably a dumb idea for him to save it. He should have probably just taken it out of bounds. Because if it had gone to any of the UConn players right there, it would have been an easy layup. So UConn baseline out of bounds. It'll be Solo Ball who will inbound it. Can UConn hit a three here and make things awfully interesting? They toss it into Mullins. Down screens and rip screens are switched by Michigan. Ball pulls up for three. That is an incredibly contested shot. It's off the backboard and in. UConn within 4, and Dan Hurley's going to use his final timeout. My goodness, what an incredibly tough shot there by Solo Ball. Off the window. And UConn are within 4. My goodness, that did not look good. And he was actually inside the arc, so take a point away from the Huskies, 67-62. But after a turnover on the last possession for Michigan, you truly do never know. Solo Ball's got to get his feet behind the three-point line there. You can't be giving away points like that. So you just got a trap, but it was off of the side out of bounds. So the first trap is going to have to be pretty sharp here. And you see if you can, get the referee's attention on the pivot feet. See if you can get him to move. Or if you could just take it from him first. So they're looking to see if it's a 2 or a 3. They have put 2 on the scoreboard. I think it's pretty clearly. Let's see here. Oh, no, that's going to be a 3. His feet were behind the line, so I was right at first. Let's put 63 on the board for UConn now, and they are within 4. And he is very clearly behind the line there. So by doing nothing, UConn gets another point. So yeah, it shouldn't take too long to look at this. So it'll be Michigan ball here, up 4. They just turned it over on the last possession. Can they get it in again? They've been very good from the free throw line, 23 of 24, and they have set up the football play here. Cadeau is the quarterback. The receivers all go out on their routes. McKinney comes back on the curl, and he gets it. A quick trap. It goes back to Cadeau. Cadeau goes past. Now Roddy Gale. They want to foul him probably, and they will, with 29.5 to go. So we've seen a lot of teams run the football play out of bounds. It's just hard to keep track of them all. You got to play a little soft if there's no help over the top. And then usually somebody hits a hitch route and gets the ball inbounds. So Roddy Gale to the line, 76% on the season. Regardless of what happens, it'll still be a 2-possession game. 29.9 to go. The first free throw by Gale spins out. Michigan hearts are in their mouths right now. This game is in their hands if they don't screw it up. That is a dangerous place to be for the Wolverines. Gale to make it a 5-point game here with 29 seconds to go. Misses again. 2 misses in a row. UConn have 1 timeout to go. They are down by 4. Malachi Smith, what can he do? Can UConn hit a 3? Pin down for Caravan. Step back triple is short. Rebounded by Gale. Ball's on the floor. And it is Trey McKinney who is fouled. So it was a 3-pointer. It would have made it a 1-point game, but it was always short. And Trey McKinney will go to the line for 2. Michigan just forces this pin down so far out, and he's turning around 4 or 5 feet behind the 3-point line and trying to shoot it, and that's a shot that's just not going to go in very often. And when McKinney swings through, does he... No. UConn's asking for him to be called for an offensive foul, but that would never happen in that situation. Let's see what Gene has to say. UConn is appealing for a flagrant foul on McKinney, but Smith just runs into his shoulder. He doesn't ever make a motion like this. This is going to be a half-hearted appeal here that is going to cost them their last time out. There is nothing in this here. This would be a crazy overturn. Let's see, the initial elbow they're talking about. What is the initial elbow here from McKinney? It's that. He's got his hands on the ball. There was nothing in that. And Smith just sort of puts his face in his shoulder there. So UConn, the appeal is not successful, and they're going to lose their final timeout. It's probably worth a shot. I mean, if you can get 2 free throws on the ball, that would be easy, but no. So 2 free throws by McKinney here. First free throw is good. So Michigan up by 5 right now. This becomes really difficult for UConn. They trail by 6. They need a 3 immediately here. 13.5 seconds to go. Smith drives to the hoop. Reverse layup is no good. It's Roddy Gale with the rebound. He tosses the ball up the floor. It's going to be Caravan who gets it. And the game is over. Michigan are national champions. They finished the season 37-3, and the Wolverines bring the Big Ten their first championship since 2000 when the Spartans got the job done. The Wolverines are national champions in Indianapolis. They were the Big Ten regular season champions. They went 10-0 on the road. They lost 1 game at home. They lost 1 neutral court game to Duke in Washington, D.C., and they lost 1 neutral court game to Purdue in the Big Ten tournament. But this Michigan team was near the top of the sport for the entire season, going back to their dominating win at Players Era in November through the Big Ten. And the Wolverines are champions of the sport. I want to thank you all for tuning into this stream. Thank you all for tuning into any of the streams this year. Please check out our videos coming out soon. There's plenty of transfer portal names that'll be going in. We'll recap this game, and then before you know it, it'll be time for some college football playoff previews in July and August. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.